Hi, welcome to Sketch With Me Episode 2. Today, in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I'm going to talk about being thankful and things that I am personally thankful for. But first, let's talk about what I'm painting today. Here I've completed a couple of landscape sketches in oils in this Stilmen and Birn sketchbook, which I have pre-primed with 2 layers of acrylic white gesso to prevent the paper from being ruined by the oil paint. Now, I don't often paint landscapes. I've only painted a couple before, but recently I started following this artist called Layton Johnson on Instagram. I'll link him below. He paints these amazing cloudscapes and landscapes, and I'm always intrigued by his process, so I thought that maybe I should start incorporating landscapes into my art a little bit more often. While these paintings are very rough, I'm pretty happy with how they turned out as a first attempt at this type of painting, and I look forward to doing more in the future. Okay, let's get back to the topic of giving thanks. I love the idea of the Thanksgiving holiday because I believe it's very important to be consciously thankful for the gifts and blessings you have in your life. I'm a naturally very anxious person. I've dealt with anxiety for as long as I can remember, and so for me, it's really easy to get caught up in the negatives of life and to have a worldview that's generally ungrateful and negative. For example, when little things go wrong in my day, if I'm not consciously mindful of my thoughts and how they affect my attitude, I quickly allow these little negatives to become the only thing that I think about, taking away from the other joys of the day and from my life in general. I've noticed that people tend to see a lot more negative than positive in the world, often stating that the world used to be better or things are continually getting worse. And from my experience and an objective standpoint, I really don't believe this is true. And so this is where I think the conscious act of Thanksgiving can come into play to help lift our attitudes and perceptions of the world into a better and more positive place. For example, a couple of years ago I studied abroad in Costa Rica, and I met another study abroad student who most people would have described as having a really bad study abroad experience. Throughout her stay, she was robbed of her wallet, her passport, and her phone on separate occasions. These things would pretty much be a traveler's worst case scenario, barring bed bugs. And when I first heard about this, I thought surely she must hate her experience here. However, she would excitedly tell the story of the adventures she'd gone on, during which these things had happened, and she ended up saying at the end of our stay that she was so grateful to have been able to experience studying abroad in Costa Rica, and she would come back again in a heartbeat. Now, I want to put a disclaimer out. I did feel very safe in Costa Rica, and she was one of maybe 2 out of 100 people that I heard of this happening to, so don't be scared away from it. But this girl's attitude shocked me and taught me something that I've been thinking about ever since. The way you frame your perspective will affect the way you experience something, no matter whether bad or good things happen. So since this experience, I have sought to change my thought patterns and make a conscious effort to remember the things I'm grateful for. And although I'm not very good at it yet, I'm always improving, and it's made a huge difference in my life. So, how do we develop a habit of conscious thankfulness? Although I'm not an expert, there are a few methods that have worked for me and may work for you. First, one of the easiest things you can do is make a sign. In my last apartment, I got some chalkboard and I wrote, "Be thankful" on it, as a reminder that I could see every day of the need to be thankful for the things I have. I know this sounds like a simple solution, but sometimes even the most simple things are the most helpful. I have a hard time remembering to be thankful, and having that sign there reminded me of what I was striving to achieve habit-wise in my own life. Second, you should write a list. What things are you most thankful for? And what things are you thankful for on a day-to-day basis? For example, I'm most thankful for my husband and my family. And on a day-to-day basis, I'm thankful for modern technology that helps me learn and makes my days easier. I'm thankful for my moderately good health, and I'm thankful for just being alive in this relatively peaceful country and during this relatively peaceful time. And third, try to smile even when you're down. Science has shown that when you smile, your brain releases happiness chemicals, actively lifting your mood. And the simple act of smiling can be a reminder to be thankful and to remember the good things in a day. And fourth, remember to thank people for the things that they do for you, whether small or large. The act of vocalizing your thanks will not only lift your day, but will also lift theirs, and is part of generating a more positive lifestyle and perspective. And finally, try to actively practice mindfulness. I know that's a bit of a buzzword right now, but being mindful of your experiences and trying not to get caught up in the emotion of a moment will definitely go a long ways towards making everyday negatives a little less effective on your entire life. I know the topic of thankfulness and how to promote it in your own life is a bit off topic from art and painting in general, but it's been on my mind recently, especially as we approach Thanksgiving tomorrow, and I felt compelled to discuss and reflect over what I've learned in the last few years of my life and where I'm at mentally right now. I feel that promoting active and conscious thankfulness in my life has made me a more humble person and has also allowed me to experience more daily joy in both art and in my other everyday experiences. And I really hope that you're able to also practice these ideas in your life and find more joy as well. Let me know what you're thankful for this year and what methods you use to be a more thankful person in your life in the comments below. As always, thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see you in the next episode. Bye.